Oh, hi Tumblr. This is Jess, aka the Vegan Cheese, and I'm just going to start answering a few questions that you guys left in my inbox. So let's get started. Okay. The first question I have isn't really a question at all, but more of a comment, and it's a common one that I get. It just says, OMFG, you're so cute. Um, oh, first off, thank you so much, Anon. I really do appreciate getting these comments in my inbox, but in the same instance, I really can't help but to feel as though people are trolling me when they send me these comments. So I'm never really sure how to answer except for just saying thank you. But yeah, like I said, I really do appreciate them. So thank you, Anon. Second question comes from Freedom Fairy, and they asked, how do you find being vegan in a Christian environment? Are they accepting of you? When I go to church, everyone's pretty accepting of me. Everyone seems to like me. No one really has any complaints about me. The only thing that they seem not to understand is the concept of veganism. And when I tell them that I feel as though animals are here with us and not for us, and that we don't need them in order to survive, they go into the whole argument about dominion and everything. And you try to counter that by telling them before the fall in the garden that we were made to eat of the earth and not to eat the flesh and eggs and drink the milk of the animals that were there in the garden with us. That they were there to live alongside us and not to be used in any way. But it wasn't until after the fall that we were given meat as food, and they just kind of don't really seem to understand that. And so I don't really bring up the argument because I don't really feel like arguing with it anymore. I've done it too much in the past, and it just becomes irritating. So they accept me just fine, but they seem to reject the idea of veganism. And yeah, that's pretty much the only pet peeve that I have with my church. Um, they're really nice people, but it's just that, like, the things that I support now and the things that I stand for now, they just don't really seem to understand, or they don't want to understand. They don't want to come to believe it, and so it just becomes a little harder for me to fit in. But other than that, I seem to be doing pretty good. Third question comes from Dreamful Artists, and they ask, if you had only one wish, what would you wish for? I actually don't know. I would wish for a lot of things, but to be honest, I wouldn't be able to just settle on one single thing to wish for. And so I would probably have to say I don't know and just be honest and say that I'd have to really think about it. And because I'm just so indecisive sometimes, especially when it comes to things like this. So I just can't settle on one thing. But maybe one day I'll I'll finally settle on something. Um, the fourth question that I have comes from another anonymous person, and their question is, do you have any opinions um, on talking to vegetarians about switching to veganism without having them bring up the conversation? Specifically, vegetarians who choose not to eat meat based on their love of animals and buy humane eggs and dairy. Well, as vegans, we already know that the humane myth that they have behind meat and milk and cheese and eggs, is pretty much bull, because the way that the animals are raised and the way that the animals are treated usually is no different than factory farm standard. And even if these animals do get to have a little bit of grass and some sunshine, doesn't mean that it's for the rest of their life. Their lives usually are extremely short, even in free-range organic farm situations. These animals don't get to live very long because there are people who want to eat them simply because they feel as though it would somehow lift the guilt that they feel for eating animals that are tortured, and somehow eating animals that are given a little bit of space for a short amount of time is better than an animal being killed, after being in the dark for a while. And, the thing is that the animal's still being killed, so what are you trying to prove? What point are you trying to prove? And with the milk and the eggs, the thing is that mother cows still have their babies taken away from them, and the males are made into veal. Chickens, they lay their eggs are taken from them, and the male chicks are still crushed up, made into certain foods, or are thrown into dumpsters, suffocated in trash bags. You know, this it doesn't change the fact that this stuff still happens. So, I mean, you can continue to support this, or you can look at it and see it for what it really is. Just not looking at the bigger picture is just really hurting the fact that you say that you love animals, but you're not really doing anything about it. You're just sitting back and just allowing this stuff to happen when you can openly protest against it by not supporting it. And I think most vegetarians already know about the cruelty these industries have, within them, and they don't want to do anything about it. They feel as though, well, the milk industry isn't necessarily hurting the cow, but technically it is, because these cows are milked until they can't milk anymore, and they're impregnated, until they pretty much can't produce any more babies, and then they're sent to slaughter. And this is supposed to be humane, and it's not. There's nothing humane about being killed. I can understand that they feel as though in some way that they're being ethical by buying organic, but it doesn't really change the fact that this stuff still happens. So I would just try talking to them and try having them understand that even if they are buying organic or free range, that it doesn't necessarily mean that these animals are treated any differently from factory farmed animals. And I would just continue to encourage them to go vegan, to make that change, because even though veganism isn't the way, the truth, and the light, it is a step in the right direction, and they can do something about it. So keep encouraging them, and let me know what happens, because I would really like to know. Okay, so fifth question comes from Molasses in My Veins, and she has 3 questions, actually. First question is, what has been the best experience so far being vegan? Best experience for me, it's just meeting new people. I love meeting new vegans, especially vegans of color, because there's nothing like meeting someone that you can relate with and have the chance to share your stories with, and everything having to do with veganism. And it's always nice to meet someone in your area who's vegan too, because then you have that chance to hang out with them and you can spend time with them. And even here on Tumblr, I've met some really awesome people, and it's a shame that a lot of you live so far away, because a lot of you seem so cool, and I want to hang out with you desperately. So, yeah, just meeting new people has definitely been a highlight of being vegan for me. Second question is, when are you coming to Philly? I wish that I could just teleport myself there. I probably won't be coming anytime soon, unfortunately. I really wish that it wasn't this way, but Yeah, that's just how it is. I really want to come though. So if I ever do get the chance to come, I am going to come and I will spend time with you, and I want to spend time with you and Ness and just have a great time, and it would be great. Third question is, why are you so awesome? I don't know. I think that's a rather silly question to ask me, because I wouldn't really be able to tell you truthfully why it is that I'm so awesome, because I don't think that I am. I think that I'm pretty average. I'm not special or anything. I'm just your average girl, just living an average life, I guess. Okay, so I have one more question, and that's the caffeinated vegan, and she asks for me to walk you guys through an average day in my life. Okay, so more averageness. um, Basically, when it comes to my life, I do have a job, and the sad thing about this job is that I only work a week and then I'm off a week. And then I work a week and then I'm off a week. And then I work a week and then I'm off a week. And it's this vicious cycle of working and not working. And it is just horrible. It's just horrible. I hate it. And I make decent money, but it just sucks. But okay, when I'm off, on the weeks that I'm off, my week is pretty much spent trying to keep myself entertained. I usually keep to myself a lot during that week, because the week that I work, I get drained by dealing with people, because I deal with a lot of tourists and a lot of visitors from out of town, and it just becomes really tiresome for me. So I have to deal with them, and it becomes pretty hard to deal with sometimes. So I guess that um I crochet, I write, I draw. I at times go out with some friends. But usually I try to keep to myself for that entire week. I don't really like spending too much time with a lot of people, at one time. I mean, I've become so introverted over the years that sometimes just being by myself is the better thing for me to be, because I just need time to recover after that. So, also, when I'm by myself, I spend my time baking or cooking, reading, just trying to keep myself busy. Um, so it's it's not really like I don't really have much of a social life, to be honest, and I'm really sad about that sometimes, but I'm also quite relieved, because I don't like dealing with people too much, even though my job is all about dealing with people, and it sucks. But yeah, that's it. And that's all my questions that I have. Thank you guys for submitting questions to me. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to do this again soon. And I'll see you guys around on Tumblr. So, see you later.